For more on this, let's bring in Muktar Mohammed. He's a financial analyst and joins us from Lagos in Nigeria. Muktar, good to have you on the program. So talks about changing the CFA Franc started way back in 1983. Why has it taken so long for us to see any changes or any tangible change to this?
Well, because the currency is not really the problem. You see, we keep saying that you could have all the currency you have. Currency is not the problem; it's the means of exchange, how much business you are doing within yourself. So, if you look at some of these African countries, especially countries that you're talking about, most of them do not do business within themselves that much. So, changing currency has not it's not something that is on the front burner. So the challenge is that they need to begin to do more business within themselves. Then they will begin to think of a common currency that will help them grow. And the whole challenge about from 1983 till now, because when you look at African colonies these days, they do more business with the Chinese than even their former colonies. And so most of them, the major gains of business within Africa and the global world is becoming the dollar, not even the CFA or the France. That's been the major challenge with Africa, not really because the currency is an issue. No, I think the major challenge has been in the area of trading within themselves.
Okay, so if that is something that does start to happen, you could see a slow transition then to using another currency. What would be able to replace the CFA franc, and how would it benefit the millions of West Africans who use this currency?
I think it has been a challenge. Even the West African sub-region have tried to come up with their own currency. They call it the eco currency. That currency have not seen the light of day. Like I said, they have not so much trade. And there's this challenge. There's this challenge between Anglophone and Francophone. And so that has not also helped in India. And also you could see the hand of the colonial masters in India, like French. France has a hand in that, making that not to come to pass. So definitely we could begin to see a shift in that when Africans begin to do more business within themselves. And that's why they've come up with the African Continental Trade Agreement, whereby Africans will begin to do more business within themselves. If that happens, it won't be long, then you begin to see the eco currency or you see a single currency for Africa. But for now, I think Africa's major challenge is about doing business within themselves. And also those business coming within themselves comes with a lot of challenges. We have the infrastructural challenges of even by road or by air or by rail. There's no common network in terms of transportation, in terms of infrastructure to link them together. The only good thing that we've seen in Africa within themselves has been in the financial space, whereby you have so many African banks now within the continent and within the particular countries and are able to transact business outside the shore of this country. That seems to be the only good news as it stands now.
Mukta, I'm wondering at this point, you mentioned France being, of course, colonial master to so many countries in West Africa, and which is why we have the CFA franc in the first place. Those who are wanting to get rid of this currency have described it as a tool of neo-colonialism. How much influence and power does France still have in terms of the economy in its former colonies? Because much of trying to get rid of this currency is also to break free of that colonial past that came about such a long time ago.
Well, I think the challenge is that because of the conflicts in these countries, France still has so much power. Because of the military support they give to some of these countries fighting the jihadis and other rebel group in the continent, because they do, especially in these colonies, because these colonies have not been able to come up with a military strategy. So they solely depend on France for most of their hardware, military hardware or intelligence. So I think that has been the major problem, why it's difficult for them to just get off France and letting France do they're running their economy. In as much as you could see that on social media, you could see them say it in form. They need the France. The France know they need them more than they need that, more than the African countries need, more than they need the African countries. Because like I said, the challenge has been conflict in Africa. You don't have the military hardware, you don't have the military intelligence. They depend mainly for France for this, exception of Niger and others that have been given ultimatum that the France military should leave. These have not even been infected because we've not seen them leaving yet, like they said those others. So it's a very delicate situation, especially when your security is in the hands of a particular country, it's very difficult for you to make a decision.
Yeah, you've made such a good point. Thank you so much for breaking it all down for us. Muktar Mohammed, a financial analyst in Lagos. Thank you.